everybody, Brad Gavey here for Redline Motorsports. Richie told me to come in and talk a little bit about tires. As always, Redline Motorsports is www.redlinecalgary.com and on Moto-HQ.net. So Richie asked me to come in and talk a little bit about tires today. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how they work. Rich went through on the initial review. Rich went through the technical side of them a little bit more. I'm more here about talk about how they feel when you're on your bike and what you're looking for with the tire. Having ridden on all these tires here, first thing I'll say is the most amazing thing that has happened probably in the last 10 years or 15 years in motorcycles, besides these fuel injected and super lightweight bikes and all the advances in electronics, is tire technology and tire construction. Any one of these tires here are better than a race tire that I started out racing on way back in the day. They have more grip and more feel and longer lasting and good in the rain than a race tire from 10 or 12 years ago, easily without a doubt. So we're going to talk a little bit about them. As we got some of the big three here. We're also missing a Dunlop, which is the new Dunlop is out as well. It's called the Q2, supposed to be a really hot poop tire. I haven't had access to them. I haven't seen them yet. They're going to be out a little bit sooner. Dunlop in this part of the world don't sell as much. They're quite a bit more money than these guys here, so we're going to kind of try and concentrate on these as well. Side note to that, also next year I'm really looking forward to try the Messler K3 in a track day street tire form, which we'll be using at probably my schools and stuff like that and track days to enjoy and see what it works like right now. So we're going to get going a little bit quick here and get to it. So Michelin 2CT, Bridgestone 016, Pirelli Corsa III. These three tires are round and black, and they feel completely different in when you're riding your bike. Having ridden all these tires in different styles of bike and at Race City. Race City is a little bumpier track, so I'm going to kind of keep it to that. You get a different feel for each tire, but we'll start it there. The Michelin 2CT, excellent street tire, probably the longest lasting one in my experience. Really good feel. The tire has a good grip from cold, good street, long lasting on the street. The most expensive of the set of these three tires in front of us right now. Good feel, good warm up time, lots of grip for the average guy. The front on it, we don't have a front up here right now. It's a really triangulated profile, which helps if your bike's a little bit slower turning in. You have the pointy front tire, helps out big time with steering. We'll get to the Bridgestone and we'll talk about that with the Bridgestone in a little bit. My experience in the Michelin, good consistent grip, really good in the wet, really good feel. It's just it lacks maybe that little bit of outright grip compared to the Corsa III. Power, track tight pressures and stuff, we like to run around 30-30 on these ones. Last long time, people are happy with them, a good consistent tire. Bridgestone 016, like Richard talked about a little bit earlier, this bad boy is like a true triple compound, not to be confused with the tires that come on your, any 016 that comes on an OE factory bike, i.e. the Gixxers, the GSXRs. That is not a true triple compound. The aftermarket 016 is. So that's actually pretty much a completely different tire. The Bridgestone, a little bit slower to warm up. My experience with it is you're always in the back of your head when you're your first couple laps out, and this would make the same thing on your first leaving the house as well. With the bike, on a cold morning, doesn't give you the right type of feel. It lacks a little bit of that warm-up feel that a little bit more aggressive tire does. It doesn't warm up as quick. It seems like a harder construction, and when you're riding on your bike, the bump absorption and all that other stuff at the track that we ride on it's a little bit bumpier. So we're always trying to get a little bit of bump absorption in the side of the carcass of the tire. The Michelin is also really good for that. It has a little bit softer sidewall, and in my experience and how the bike feels. But the Bridgestone, it's a little bit harder. The front feels a little bit stiffer. The back end feels a little bit stiffer. It makes the suspension seem a little bit harsher. The initial turn-in, when we're talking about the front tire, it's good transition from upright trail braking to getting closer down on, a little bit closer to the apex and stuff. A good initial turn, but if you throw in some bumps in there, leaned over a little farther, Bridgestone lacks a little bit of that compromise and that compliance. Average street guy, average track day guy is going to enjoy it, but he's going to feel a little more confident on possibly the other two here. This is the cheapest option of them all, which is always important. Good long lasting, good rear grip, but just not that last little bit of feel that you're looking for when if you're trying to push your limits a little bit more, trying to take the next step with your riding as well. So we get to the Corsa 3. Corsa, the Pirelli in this part of the world has a huge following in this part of the world. I like the Pirelli as well, but it has more, not necessarily a ton more grip, but it feels like it has more ton grip. And when you have that feel, you can go a little bit faster on the bike, gives you a little bit more grip. The Michelin Power, I would absolutely say, is very close to this, the 2CT for feel, but for grip or outright grip, but it's a little hard to explore. This one feels a little softer, leaned over. This tire here is probably the most consistent, or the one that most people could get to, it would make most people feel the best. And that's a really hard thing to explain, but it gives possibly the most feel. So the most feel, so you know your tires, the grip is there, you can go a little bit faster, especially at our local track. This one here has a really soft sidewall, really consistent grip. You'll last well. I'm getting up to 1,500 kilometers out of a rear, track riding, pretty aggressive track riding as well. Not too bad. I would definitely, if I was picking two that I had to run on my bike tomorrow, it would come down between the Michelin 2CT and the Pirelli Corsa 3. I have not had access to the Power 1 yet. Just kind of, a little bit going to try some next year. Hopefully that we can kind of come back to that a little bit later. But for the average guy, these two are probably your best bet. If price is important, the Bridgestone is really good. And if you're trying to push the limits a little bit more, the Corsa 3 is going to probably give you a little bit more if you're riding on a bumpy track because of the soft sidewall and a little more compliant. If you got a nice smooth racetrack, the 2CT would probably be a good one for you too as well. And I'm Brad Gavey, and thanks a lot for checking it in, and hopefully you got something from that. Thanks.